This past Friday, February 16th, boxing had two cards display some of the best boxing that we have seen thus far this year. And we'll talk about both cards in separate videos, the main events of these two cards, because they are worthy of mentioning. So, for this first go round, we're going to talk about a rematch that took place between Adrian Curiel against Nontshinga, a fight that was fought between these two men just a few months ago, where Curiel took away the light flyweight title from Nontshinga, the champion. And many people were wondering, will he really be ready for this rematch? Well, let's just say he was. Let's talk about it a little further. Boxing is definitely the theater of the unexpected. And this Friday, February 16th, we got more of the unexpected when the rematch between Adrian Curiel and Nontshinga took place. These two men were able to bring to light what we really enjoy about boxing: trial, tribulation, overcoming, achievement, and also the agony that comes with defeat. The two men put on a fearsome display. It was not like the first go round, which happened to be a 2-round blowout that saw Curiel snatch Nontshinga's title away from him with a single punch overhand right to the left temple that left Nontshinga totally out. It was a fight that was exciting, the abrupt ending that no one expected, because Curiel, who at that time had only had 4 knockouts on his record. A one-punch fight like that, where you end things, it makes someone stand up out of their seat. And I did the same thing. But the rematch taking place 3 months later, would Nontshinga be ready from such a fearsome knockout? Well, the answer is yes. And he was well prepared to come into this match and give the best of what he had. Now that he has come full circle, having regained his title, his record is now 13-1 with 10 KOs. But it was the way that he defeated Curiel in this rematch. That's the thing that many people are going to have to take note of, because this fight was fought in the trenches. I'm talking about these two men went at it. They were toe to toe. You could have put a slip of cardboard on the center of the ring apron and let them stand on that cardboard and just go at it. Yes, they moved around in the ring, but it was from space to space and to the ropes, near the ropes, things of that nature. They were belly to belly, shoulder to shoulder, and they were giving as well as one another got. But Curiel started the fight off with a very awesome body attack toward Nontshinga. And Nontshinga, who was guarding very well for that right hand, seemingly opted to fight this way because when he got caught with that right hand in the first fight, he was at a distance. And it was a looping right hand that came over the top that caught him. I guess he just didn't see it. So this time, he made sure to put his face literally in the chest of Curiel. And that's how the fight was fought for more than 3/4 of the rematch. This fight went back and forth with Curiel taking the lead in most instances. His body work was on point early on, but it seemed to change somewhat when Nontshinga from South Africa began to work the body himself. He started throwing these uppercuts and hooks around the elbows, using his head as a wedge into Curiel's chest. He was able to get space enough to get those shots off. Now, the two men are both 25 years of age, and Nontshinga is a better boxer from the outside, but he fought with much spirit on the inside simply because he wanted to eliminate the advantages that the opponent had in the first fight. He did well, because what ended up happening as a result of the adjustment that Nontshinga made, the fight began to wear Curiel down. I don't think he was conditioned to go for this type of fight, particularly because of how quickly the first fight ended. And though he is a fighter that fights out of the typical aggressive Mexican in-your-face style with the hooks to the body, Nontshinga was beating him at his own game. And the tide seemingly changed for the better, beginning with the 7th round, where Nontshinga scored a knockdown. He got Curiel off balance, put him to the canvas, and really hurt him. In the 8th round, the bell saved Curiel because it looked like he could have gotten stopped. And from that point, the fight was all Nontshinga's, and he began to tear into Curiel like nobody's business. And that's where we began to see Adrian's energy wane, and we could see him beginning to sulk a little bit with his body language. After this defeat, his record now drops to 24-5, 1 draw and 5 KOs. And I wonder how he's now going to come back from this, because he took a terrible bit of punishment in the last 3 rounds of this fight. The fight was finally stopped in the 9th, where Nontshinga had poured it on, and the referee stepped in to give a standing 8 count. What do you know, people? A standing 8 count from a ref, instead of just jumping in and waving a fight off because one man is flurrying. Referee Mark Kaloy went in there, pulled Nontshinga off of Curiel, and issued the standing 8. I've talked about this in the past, It's a referee's judgment that he can do something like that, as opposed to stopping a fight when he can look in the fighter's eyes and see, was he just at a disadvantage of not being able to tie the guy up, or if he's being pummeled into submission. And at that juncture, you could clearly see that Curiel, though his strength was waning and his energy sapped, he was still alert. And when the ref allowed the fight to continue, Nontshinga continued to pummel him, and he never came back from that. And that was the end of the fight. What an outstanding victory for this fighter, Nontshinga, who did very well. There was a point deduction for a headbutt, and we could see that though it wasn't intentional, it was because of the postures of the fighters. But there was really, really good action, great action in this fight. And it's the type of fight and action that fans love to see. I want to say you have to take a look at some of these smaller weight fighters, because they really do bring it. And there's a lot to respect from what they bring in the ring. The way that they give their all, and being small men with power enough to knock another man unconscious, is just simply awesome to see from such little guys. So salute to Silnathi Nontshinga. Forgive me for not pronouncing his name properly, but a champion that I would love to tune in and watch again. He's a heck of a fighter, made a heck of an adjustment to come back and regain his title. I'd love to see him again. But what do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are having reviewed this fight. Check out the first fight first, and then you'll be able to enjoy what transpired in the rematch even better. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.